Broadcasting live from our studios in downtown Dublin on this Wednesday, April 7th. This is TV35 News at 6 with Tom Fairclough.
Another Lawrence County business announces it's closing its doors and the grand jury hands down a murder indictment. These stories top our news tonight. Hello, I'm Tom Fairclough, sitting in for Perry Richardson, who has the day off. And this is TV35 News. Kip Dominic will be along shortly with our sports. Dublin Mayor Bob Walker received the news late last night by fax from Robert Collins, general manager of Vlasic Farms, that the company's mushroom farming operation in Dudley will be closing its operation down permanently at the end of July. I spoke with Walker at his office this morning for his reaction. The recent closing, or the announcement of the closing of the mushroom farm in the Dudley area, what is this going to mean to Lawrence County and specifically to Dublin?
Well, we got bad news yesterday, and that was the announcement that what we all know originally as Chemsco and then Campbell's Fresh and now Vlasic Corporation. A mushroom farm at Dudley is closing sometime around July the 31st. And there are 60 hourly employees at that facility, so that is a big impact on Lawrence County and probably some of the surrounding counties. Anytime we have a plant shutdown, it's really bad news for our community. We hope that there will be some other facility that might want to buy this plant and reopen it, and we'll be having some of those kind of discussions in the next few months. The hourly employees, none of them will be terminated before June the 6th. June the 6th, they'll all be working, have the opportunity to work through that date. And then there'll be some benefits that their employer is granting for them that seems to be a very fair severance package.
There are approximately 60 hourly employees who are actively working at the Dudley facility. 2 years ago, or 4 years ago that is, there were 200 in a downsizing layoff that tremendously affected the area. It is expected that the first layoffs will begin on June 6th, and officials at Vlasic were unavailable for comment today. But I did speak with Pieter Vedder, who designed the plant and was vice president of training under Campbell Foods before his retirement in 1989. Vedder was frank about the company's prospects.
But at that time, the goal was to produce first quality mushrooms for the fresh market. In a wide area, let's say the northern part of Florida, the Carolinas, of course Georgia, and so on.
Was that one of the reasons for locating in Dublin?
I think so. A part of it is, of course, that they got cheap money, low interest, and so on. Also, they did, of course, a feasibility study and see if there was enough labor, relatively, let's say, low-cost labor available, and that, I suppose, were the reasons that they have chosen Dublin.
Pete, what do you see as the future for the mushroom growing industry here in Middle Georgia?
You could say first, why does Vlasic is a division from Campbell Soup. They split off that part, let's see, last year, I suppose, huh? You could ask, what is the reason that they closed the farm here, which is actually a pity for Dublin. Now, of course, the reason is that the results are disappointing, and the results have been disappointing for Campbell Soup, I suppose, for many, many years. Why? I think this farm, from the beginning on, has struggled with some management problems. It didn't start too well. Okay. At a certain moment, I have said the money is in the fresh market, but to produce mushrooms for the fresh market, there is quite a bit of labor involved because you have to pick them all by hand, and the efficiency level was never that good So the costs to grow then are too high. And so Campbell decided a couple of years ago that we introduced the mechanical harvesting technique and used that product for the soup plant. Now, since then, you can still find in the grocery stores around here fresh mushrooms from, let's say, other companies, Monterey, and they have to be shipped in from whether Florida or farms in other states. And if they can make money that way, why shouldn't, if this farm was well managed, and why shouldn't be there a future for this farm as well?
You see it as a management problem from the corporate area, or were there poor managers sent here?
Okay, maybe both.
So the future...
I just give a hint, but...
The future looks sort of bleak then for another company possibly taking up the operation?
I think, as I said, under proper management, this farm can be as good as other farms. It is let's say, a modern technology farm.
Willie Paulk is Executive Director of the Dublin Lawrence Development Authority, and she had these thoughts about the farm closing.
Mrs. Paulk, could you give us an idea of the economic impact that the closing of Vlasic will have on Lawrence County?
The economic impact is going to be astronomical, I feel, because when I think of economic development, I think about the lives of the people that are employed there. We're talking about possibly 63 families. You know, who can put a dollar value on them losing their job? The only thing that I feel today is that we're going to have to take this and take it as an opportunity now, not only to make sure that those people gain employment somewhere else, but also to take an opportunity to market that facility, market that area. We're talking about 342 acres of land, 800,000 square foot facility. That is a tremendous opportunity, maybe for another company. It's always sad for us to learn of an industry closing in our community because we are one big family. And when one member hurts, we all hurt. And our main concern right now is the placing of those employees in employment somewhere else within this county. I'm sure they would be like me. I don't want to go anywhere else. And they want to stay here where they have lived all their lives and continue to work with a viable company so they can look towards that day when we can all say we can retire. So we got to take this now as an opportunity to place them somewhere and also market that facility in that area.
As Economic Development Director, do you have any potential purchasers for that property?
Well, the first thing we would do is, since we've only been notified today, the first thing we would do is to notify all statewide officials, let them be aware that this facility is on the market. Also to notify other companies that we know may have worked with this company, maybe in supplying them with their raw materials or etc. By that way we can gain leads to other companies that might have an interest. So we've got our work cut out for us now to go full steam ahead to see what we can do to create something positive out of this.
We'll follow up on this story when Vlasic officials agree to speak to the media. And when we come back, the grand jury hands down indictments and the mayor makes a proclamation.